Hold on. Where's Gale? The air feels a little less magical.
Rushed off this morning. He probably remembered an overdue book.
Gale's run off, then. Couldn't hack it, no doubt.
Hang on. Where's Lae'zel? Feels wrong starting the day without anyone staring daggers at me.
Oh, she probably wandered off to kill something adorable.
Hey, where's Shadowheart? I was looking forward to annoying her today.
She rushed off this morning. Wouldn't say why.
Shadowheart's gone. I should have guessed. Fleeing is the coward's way.
Say, where's Will? Bit early to be out hunting, isn't it?
I wouldn't worry. We're better off without him.
The Blade of Frontiers has deserted his post. So much for legends.
Say, where's Karlag? She didn't abandon us, did she?
She rushed off this morning. Probably some infernal business.
Karlak's gone. Couldn't hack it, no doubt.
Oh, I don't know what I slept on, but my neck's killing me.
Man, I'm wrecked. Must have slept with a pebble under my neck.
So much for the restorative qualities of sleep. I feel positively wretched.
Oh, my neck. Why would... Forget it.
Oh, I feel more tired now than I did before I turned in last night.
Oh, why am I so dizzy? I didn't have so much as a drop of ale. Astarion. Astarion? Where'd that boy run off to?
We seem to be missing a person. Where's Astarion?
Fare thee well, Pale One.
Too bad. Kind of like the little creep.
We are stronger without him.
His loyalty was as fickle as his temper, apparently. Vanished without a word.
Maybe he got sick of us.
No idea. The man was always a mystery.
Couldn't abide the journey, no doubt. A coward deserting his post.
He vanished in the dead of night. Not terribly surprised. He seemed a flighty type.
We're down one vampire. Did the hunter take him?
We can only surmise. But it's a strong possibility.
A shame. But can't be helped.
Abducted or not, there is no point in dwelling. We have bigger problems to solve.
I hope this doesn't come back to bite us. The choice, that is, not Astarion.
Astarion was bound to be trouble. Still, I can't believe we just gave him up.
They have seized Astarion. He'll be in Cazador's clutches now.
They've got him. They're taking Astarion back to Cazador.
Cazador has got his teeth into poor and pale Astarion once more.
It is time we paid him a visit. I have never killed a vampire lord before.
Cazador has his leash round Astarion's throat once more.
Snatch beneath our very noses.
Not for long. Come morning, we'll get him back.
Better save any rescue attempts until dawn. Darkness is no ally in the pursuit of such an enemy.
Come, we will not abandon Astarion, but Boo must rest his nose if he is to follow the trail come light.
Come day, we must set off in pursuit.
There's little point in stalking vampires by night, but come dawn, they'll be penned up in their stronghold.
But he won't have him for long. Come morning, those vamps are mine.
We will follow Boo, but not until the sunrise has the vampires snoozing in their upside-down beds.
Vampires thrive in the darkness even more than I do. Best wait till morning before we strike.
We'd be fools to go after Cazador before sunrise. For now, let's get some rest.
These true souls think they're talking to a god. But it's just the tadpole, right?
The true soul was infected with a tadpole. This absolute of theirs must be a gay hallucination.
Perhaps that's how we would have ended up had our Nautiloid not been attacked.
You wager this Absolute's going to get chatty with us?
No interest in chatting to the Absolute myself. I've got enough going on up here.
Seems being a true soul leaves you unconcerned about your tadpole, or unaware.
That did the trick all right. And down it goes. And so we descend into more madness, presumably.
Arriving in style. I rather like it.
Ha! Nice!
The staircase would have been too conventional, I suppose. There we are. A short descent, but no less dramatic for it.
There's tunnels everywhere. Who would dig these? And why here?
These burrow holes must have been dug by some creature. Most likely not a creature I'd like to meet.
Must be one hell of a mole.
Something's burrowed in there. Something big.
This is the work of a bullet. A land shark.
I don't want to know what that is.
Whatever it was, I stand ready.
The hells was that? We better not get buried down here.
An earthquake down in the Underdark. The stuff of nightmares.
What the hells? This place is ready to collapse.
Oh, I don't like that. Can't be anything good.
Quakes. The bedrock must be under incredible strain.
Hells, we're on shaky ground. A painting of creatures in battle. Art imitates life, I suppose.
Looks like a Spider-Man decapitating a mind flayer. Someone got creative.
This is Lolth's descent into the Underdark. Looks like her Dryada champion's tearing open some mind flayers.
Crude, but vivid as artwork goes. Whoever made these must be long dead.
Please. I prefer my art to be a little less shit.
Seems like the owner was quite the literary type.
I'm not normally one for literature, but there's something there.
Here dwelt a man blessed with impeccable taste in literature.
Yawn.
Chuck. Such tedium. No blades, no battle cries.
I can think of better places to enjoy literature than in the depths of the Underdark.
Pleasant enough, but I'm partial to heroic sagas myself. Incredible when I think of it. So many legendary tales lost to deep time.
Always a pleasure to meet a fellow academic. And what a subject. This place brims with history.
Learn what you can in these grottos. The champions of the past have plenty to teach us.
A rather fascinating history. A shame the place is so dusty.
It would have been quite something in its heyday. But even now, it has much to teach us.
Ancient history is overhead and underfoot. You just need to know where to look.
Even on this plane, history is carved in stone and burned in brick.
Every ancient ruin has a story to tell. That much is true, at least.
Never was much for history class, but this place has me captivated.
A Sharan construct. That bears investigating. Not sure what to make of this hell beast talk, though.
Storied rocks. Who would have thought?
Strange place for a button, especially one that doesn't work.
Doesn't seem to do much. And why's it so low?
Something's buzzing. That collar, I think.
Clever. Food is dispensed for anyone wearing this collar.
Well, look at that. Self-service for a pet. Or other collar wearer, I suppose.
The pet could summon its own food? What a clever little trick.
It stopped. Perhaps the supply's been exhausted.
That book on flumps. It's changing. What were you hiding, you sneaky little wizard?
Wabracadabra. Book showing its true colours.
An idol of Lady Shah. It cannot be a coincidence that I found this. All these signs of a Sharan presence. Dark Justiciars.
An idol of the Lady of Loss. Now found. Lovely.
A Sharan artifact, and remarkably blood-free. A rare thing indeed.
It's beautifully crafted.
Spooky.
A detailed rendering of a trivial goddess.
This might fetch a few coins.
These are Sharan weapons. I would recognize the Night Singer's blades anywhere.
Rusted and useless. Pity.
Wear this and you'll only ever be a knight in rusted armour.
This gear's rusted to bits. Couldn't use it to fight off a flumph.
Abandoned to the elements. What a shame. This was quality gear. This thing's falling apart. It can't be safe. Can it?
Lovely. Held together by rust and hope.
Steady. This thing looks more brittle than Zaztam's bones.
I'm not getting on that. Am I?
Small steps. This thing is all but rusted through. I don't suppose there's a stairs, is there?
Strange marks. Left by some charming new monstrosity, I'm sure.
These are territorial markings. And recent ones, too. There are hunters around.
Whoa. What made grooves like that?
Sharp, deep, and still fresh.
So much for the Lord of Murder. Pretty fishy, if you ask me.
His power died with the fish creatures. I expected more from the Lord of Murder.
Quite a bit less than divine for a god, wasn't he? With powers as fleeting as his followers' lives.
Poor old Buol. Wasn't long for this world after all.
The power has dispersed. He was no god. Hardly even an imitation.
Seems like his godlike powers died with his followers.
I've never encountered such a thing, even in wild space.
Who would make a metal mask like this? Or wear it?
Belong to a Maragon. They dissolve upon death, leaving only their masks behind.
Perhaps the creatures of the Underdark had a masquerade ball. I'd like to see that.
Sadly, cute alone isn't worth much.
I must have skipped the chapter on these at school.
Quite the lively little pond, aren't you?
Lava's popping. Lethal stuff.
Lava. Better watch my footing around here.
I'm no expert, but this lava seems particularly lively.
That lava lake boils like a good stew. Lovely.
Lava's not supposed to explode, I don't think. Something's igniting it.
A shout for help reverberating through the Underdark. That's going to attract the wrong crowd.
Sounds like someone's about to die. I feel so at home here.
Hear that? Someone's calling out.
Cries for help, and I'm not about to ignore them.
Another coward crying for aid. How usual.
Calls for help. Could be genuine, or a trap.
He tried to outrun the furies of hell. Looks like he hit a dead end.
Beasts and Hell Knights. You can hardly blame him for being a coward.
A grim fate. When devils give chase, you're living on borrowed time.
Chuck. Better to face a hell beast than to leave a record of your own cowardice.
Can't blame him for trying to outrun an Orthon. Any sane person would.
Huh. Drow statues are normally more regal and pompous.
These aren't statues. These are petrified drow.
Entombed forever in stone. A grim fate.
It's one thing to be sculpted, another to become the sculpture. That was a close call.
These used to be living people. What a fate.
Flesh to stone. Powerful magic.
Drow. And worse. What were they doing here?
Odd. I didn't know a spectator could petrify its victims.
A spectator. I've battled the likes before within the eye of the sky.
Since when can spectators petrify their victims?
One wrong move, and I'd have been a statue, imprisoned for eternity.
That was too close of a fight for my liking. Better be careful down here.
That smells rank. The remnants of a Shah ritual, I'm guessing. To eat and drink your fill before killing another.
Ah, a nightfall feast. Though I'm not sure it should be quite so ripe.
An eerily chilling scene, this. I suspect many were present at this blighted nightfall feast.
Imagine eating all these before murdering people for Shah. Kinda sick. Kinda fascinating.
Shah worshippers left these rotting ritual dregs behind. Why slow the senses with food and drink before a killing? Pointless.
Eating and drinking your fill before a few wicked deeds to Shah. I've missed these.
To break bread in Shah's name, then spill blood in her name. A sacred rite.
What a charming pit. Could be anything down there.
Not terribly inviting. Who knows what's at the bottom?
Nothing waits down there but our own deaths. Put it out of your mind.
Feel free to throw yourself in. I'll watch.
Why fight for yourself if you can get someone else to do it for you, right?
They could barely hold staves, let alone greatswords. Raising warriors to fight for them. Ingenious.
In such environs, their efficiency is to be admired. Nothing goes to waste.
Now that's a good use of a spent soldier.
A mighty river. There's bound to be settlements along its shores.
Do you intend to vocalize every thought, or just the most obvious ones?
Let's hope the locals are friendly.
It's the River Chionta. I'd know these waters anywhere.
Makes a pleasant change from rivers of blood.
Running water normally burns like acid, but now, who knows?
That bridge has long been collapsed. If only we'd arrived a few centuries earlier.
Yes, it's quite broken. We'll need to find another way across.
No getting through that way, is there?
Monasteries. As gaudy as any noble's palace.
View's quite breathtaking. Or maybe that was just the climb.
Oh, a sight to nourish the soul. Now, let's sit down and nourish the stomach.
Look at that beauty. Ah, I love it here.
This view's almost worth the walk.
I'm not one to admire a view. This time, well, this time shall be an exception.
Pretty enough to paint. Too bad I don't have a canvas. Or paints. Or the skills.
The blood of Lathander. Hardly impressive as relics go.
This is an ancient holy relic. It doesn't feel that ancient. Or holy.
Seems a touch underwhelming.
This can't be the blood of Lathander, can it? It's a bit meh.
So this is what passes as a holy relic. I expected a little more drama, honestly.
Seems the Githyanki came to blows with the cultists. Let's hope they keep each other busy.
Is the enemy of my enemy my friend? Or do the Gith only have enemies?
So the Githyanki aren't fond of the cultists. Could be a good thing.
Everyone hates the Absolute, I guess.
The cultists have made enemies of my people. They will be eager for my help.
I was expecting a Gith creche to look a little less, shit.
I would have thought the Gith to be too proud to squat in someone else's ruins.
The Githyanki crash is here. This place looks liable to collapse any moment.
I kinda like it. Rough around the edges.
The state of this place. Why would the Githyanki build a creche here?
I did expect a bit more spectacle, I suppose.
Indeed. This is all a little too shop-worn for their tastes.
This place has good bones. Terrible skin, though.
Keep your focus. A creche may take any guise, even that of a derelict temple.
Perhaps there's logic to it. Or perhaps they just don't care.
I reckoned it might look a little more githy.
Just when you think a place can't get any more ominous. Charming.
Indeed. This place makes my skin crawl. No. Makes it run full pelt.
I agree. It'll be good to get out of this place.
Charming place. Makes the rest of the creche look like, well, a non-Githyanki creche.
This place is spookier than a scarecrow's ghost.
You said it.
I'll breathe easier once we're gone from here.
Agreed. The sooner we get out of here, the better.
We should hurry to the Inquisitor. I hope, no, expect that Ch'rai will aid us.
This Inquisitor sounds like a daunting chap. But who knows? Perhaps he'll answer our questions.
I don't suppose this Inquisitor will have plain answers for us.
We should be so lucky.
We do have a history of things going badly. But I'm sure this time will be different.
It's never been that simple before. I don't know why it would be now.
We'll be lucky if he doesn't start off with a cheap shot, I think.
An Inquisitor can do far, far more than that. You'll see.
Ominous.
I'll keep an open mind. But I'll also keep my hand near a weapon.
I don't know. Are these things ever that simple?
Do as I do. The Inquisitor shall tolerate only the utmost respect.
Not the comfiest of dormitories. The Githyanki must consider sleep quite the luxury.
I imagine the Gith slept on slabs of stone and nails, not beds.
Glad the Githyanki don't deny themselves every luxury.
Curious. I had not expected Githyanki sleeping arrangements to be so conventional.
Communal sleeping. I presume the Githyanki don't value privacy.
This Cresh's bunks look entirely too soft for my liking.
Apples? Not the bloodthirsty fare I expected to see in such a place.
Yummy.
No banquets in sight with this pantry, that's for sure.
A warrior in training's diet.
I always wondered what Githyanki eat.
An apple a day keeps the tadpoles away. I wish.
I would have thought the Githyanki prefer fresh meat to fruit.
Fruit? Chuk. No Githyanki of worth would prefer this to a fresh kill.
Mistress Dimples! What's that?
What in the hells?
So that's what they were harassing. Cheeky little imps. The children, I mean.
So this was their victim? Chuk. I'd sooner the Yankee release their aggressions on each other.
Fuck those kids, poor thing.
Rules, rules, rules. Life must be a real bore.
All these rules. Reminds me of home.
Less rules, more doctrine. Hard to disobey such a stern mandate.
Even more rules than a flaming fished outpost. Who could keep track?
Such a rigid code. This must not be an easy place to come of age.
I wouldn't last a 10-day in a place with this many rules.
The first 10 protocols. The young must abide them, or bear the Savash's barbed whip.
They run a tight ship. Must be a horrible place to grow up.
Intoxicating.
Oh, that smell is rank. Positively enfeebling.
That odor's left me feeling decidedly wobbly.
What is that stink? It's making my head spin.
I don't feel so good. Weakened by stench.
Oh, what's that smell? It's enough to cripple a kraken.
By Mistress Mantle, what a smell! Something strange is in the air.
A far cry from the upper city hot baths, I must say.
Entirely too empty. I'd expect to see 15 eggs at the very least.
What is this place?
Now that's what I call moist.
Gods, it smells awful in here.
I'm not sure what bothers me more. The smell or the humidity.
Look at all this stuff.
Quite the selection of strange little gadgets.
A well-equipped laboratory. This is a place for rigorous study. Though I hesitate to ask what.
Curious contraptions. More advanced than what I had at my disposal in the Grove.
Thingies, yokes, and mabobs.
Gith contraptions. Curious, imagining them wielding something other than weapons.
Quite the collection. I wonder what all these contraptions even do.
Githyanki scholars study Geich devices closely. They even incorporate their findings into our own machines and magic.
Hells, you look like you've seen a ghost.
You're back. What happened in there?
Well, did you kill it? And what was it, anyway?
Tell me, what have you learned?
Is the target dead? Have you done Vlaakith's will?
Well, tell me everything.
Well, whatever happened in there, you don't look any worse for wear.
Mind flayer anatomy, rendered in quite disturbing detail. The Gith clearly know their enemy inside out.
Anatomical sketches of a mind flare. Not something to hang over the mantelpiece.
Is that a... Ugh. These mind flayer diagrams are too detailed.
Mind flayer anatomical sketches. Wonderful level of detail. Wonderful and appalling.
Highly detailed. Nasty.
Only through anatomical study do we learn of Geich weakness. The more we know, the more efficient our kills.
Is that what a mind flayer looks like on the inside? As if the outside wasn't disturbing enough.
Oh, well. That is a lot more of the illithid anatomy than I'd ever hoped to see.
A fine door, although slightly wasted in a place like this.
I'd expect to find an intricate door like that in a grand chamber, not an underground tunnel.
I do believe I saw a key with the very same markings.
Remarkable that this stayed hidden all this time.
Like it hasn't been touched in a millennium. Incredible.
Remarkably well preserved. A little glimpse into the past.
Incredible. Completely untouched. It looks frozen in time.
Has this place escaped my people's notice all this time? Embarrassing.
Skewered monk. Delicacy to someone, no doubt.
A very sharp blade did that.
One mighty thrust, one life purged.
Skewered like a hog. They probably died like one, too.
Amazing that the sword stayed sharp for so long.
A Githyanki blade, no doubt.
I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that thing.
Well, look at you. I bet you were a powerful weapon in your day.
Quite a potent-looking weapon.
A formidable weapon. Was this used on my people?
Wow, look at you. Formidable.
This thing's massive. Would hate to have it pointed at me.
The magic mouth spell. Sounds pretty important.
Just once, it would be nice to have a mysterious statue wish me a good day.
That doesn't sound terribly promising.
I don't like the sound of that.
Too sinister for my liking.
A talking statue. Now, was that a warning or a command?
Talking statues are never a good sign.
At least the statues just talk. With my luck, I was sure they'd attack.
I prefer my statues to be the strong, silent type, personally.
I understand the need for security, but really, that seemed excessive.
The tighter the security, the juicier the prize.
The monks were intent on keeping their relics safe. They didn't count on us, though.
This artifact must have been precious to the monks.
Is that such a surprise? It looks powerful enough to level a mountain.
What have we here? This must be one mighty relic.
I do love collecting a well-guarded treasure. You feel powerful.
Let's be sure to make good use of our prize, then.
Hells! This place is on the verge of collapse.
Bloody hells! Get me out of this thing! Hurry!
I'm not one to ask favors, but get me out of here.
Well, don't just stand there gawping. Get me out of here!
Don't worry, soldier. I'm on it.
Another complication. Keep your wits. There must be a way out.
Traps within traps. There's got to be a way out.
Don't worry your pretty little head. I'm sure there's a way out of this. God, it's gone. Completely destroyed.
Nothing left but rubble. Thank Mistra I'm not buried under it.
Barely got away. Those Githyanki aren't so lucky.
Just like that. Gone. Leveled.
As a child, I thought a creche an impenetrable fortress. I see now they are like everything else. Breakable.
Better get out of here. I don't relish the thought of explaining my part in all of this.
What in the 9 hells have we done?
A shame I can't carry power like that in my pocket. Well, you don't see power like that every day.
Well, I think it's safe to say we made quite an impact on that monastery. I hope we don't plan to destroy any further historic landmarks. One is quite enough for me.
Wish it could have been avoided. It was pretty beautiful.
Death, destruction. And for what? A mace. A dusty artifact.
Let's leave, before we're asked to pay for damages, in gold or blood.
Better to be stood here than buried beneath 1,000 tons of Trielta limestone.
An exceedingly close shave. The entire place was nearly destroyed.
That would have taken out the monastery, the creche, and most definitely us. We'll be more cautious in future. Probably. Maybe.
Such insouciance. You cannot comprehend the destruction we nearly triggered.
That could have ended very poorly.
Dying under this monastery would have been a shame.
Maybe we'll take a lighter touch next time. Maybe.
We endangered the creche and its people. And to what end?
A little more caution in future won't kill us. Quite the opposite, actually.
Well, tragedy averted, I suppose. Let's think twice before getting grabby in the future, yeah?
I was almost buried here. That was altogether too close.
I'll say. Being smothered by rubble is not how I'd like to spend my final moments.
If I had any choice as to where to die, I'd rather it not be in the bowels of a ruined monastery.
I didn't claw my way out of Avernus to go out in a pile of rubble.
Indeed. I don't know what I'd look for in a final resting place, but this isn't it.
It is done. My duty fulfilled. My people spared.
I've lived in darkness for centuries, but never found any like this. Unsettling.
Moonrise Towers lies ahead. We must venture on, however bleak the path.
There's a power to these shadows. A familiar one. I swear I can feel it.
We've got to push through. Unless a passing griffin offers a ride, it's the only way to Moonrise Towers.
I lived in the shadows for centuries, but never found darkness this unsettling.
Shrouded in no ordinary shadows. What evil lurks within such darkness?
Kind of beautiful, but also feels like you could choke on your own breath here.
I've never seen darkness like this before. It's unsettling.
I know the dark of wild space, but I've never known a dark like this.
No matter. Moonrise Towers has to remain the focus.
This place is darker than dark. As if the shadows could cast shadows.
The darkness is hungry here. I can feel them sapping my strength.
Me too. So cold.
Is my spirit draining? Only light drives the shadows away.
The shadows will not consume me. I am shielded by Lady Shah.
Alas, not all of us are so lucky.
Speak for yourself. I feel awful.
I'm not so lucky. Got to dispel these shadows. Somehow.
I can't say the same. Myself, my spirit is being leached out of me.
I do not share in your fortune. The shadows hunt me. I need a torch.
How grand for you. They're draining me dry. I can barely catch a breath.
These shadows can pull the life from someone, but not me.
Lucky you.
They feed on me instead. I need light.
Light, yes. Something to make the shadows retreat.
A torch, campfire, candle, anything to force the shadows to retreat.
Before we are consumed entirely.
The air reeks of death. Not sure how long I can hold out.
I can't linger in this darkness. I'm weakening by the moment.
I swear these shadows are eating my soul.
You're all too right. I can feel it, clawing at me.
We must chase the darkness away, or we are lost.
Can't continue like this.
I'm fading. Bloody curse. I won't let it take me.
I can barely think straight. This place saps the very thoughts from your mind. Not sure how much farther I can go.
My breath is ragged. We mustn't fall to the curse.
My life's bleeding away. This curse, it's too much.
Skvar, I barely have the strength to move forward.
This darkness will take our very life force as long as we're in it.
This town. I remember it too well. Much Druid and Harper blood was spilled in taking it. Only to lose it again.
Well now, this torch seems to be in strict opposition to being doused.
It's still burning. The damn thing won't go out.
But why?
In my expert opinion, it seems to be magic.
Must have been a wizard at work. I know a continual flame spell when I see one.
Nothing can douse it, near as I can tell.
Notes on the shadow curse. I sincerely hope its effects haven't spread past this region.
The druids have been studying this place for a while. Not that it's helped.
The curse spreads. Not even nature's devotees are safe.
The shadows are spreading? Well, shit.
These notes offer good advice. I should keep it in mind.
This shadow curse is deadly. I hope it's been contained.
The idea of this darkness spreading is not comforting.
The druid learned much of the shadow curse, but not enough to cleanse it or save themselves.
Plenty of chains, cages, and the usual slaver favourites. This must be where the Drider collected his victims. I hope the wretched beast is rotting out there.
Look at this place. Set up to snatch people up and put them in shackles.
A veritable torture camp and prison unto itself.
A long march through dark, unfriendly lands. I don't envy them.
Spidey and co got pretty far from home base.
Empty for good.
At least they won't drag any more poor souls along in chains.
No more giant spides on the prowl, thanks to us.
Well, it most assuredly won't be returning.
The site of no ordinary skirmish. This was once a battlefield. And a bloody one, too, judging by the number of bodies.
Remains of those who stood against Ketheric in the past.
This battlefield must have ran slick with blood. I can taste it in the air, even after so long.
These aren't the remains of some skirmish. Whole armies clashed here once.
A great many druids once stood here to fight Ketheric Thorm. Few ever left.
Forces from the Emerald Grove. Many stood against Ketheric. Only we lucky few survived him.
A great battle was fought here. I can practically hear the din of blade against blade, axe against shield.
Undisturbed graves. A rare sight in these lands where the dead are so restless.
Victims of the shadow curse. At least they were afforded a burial.
Rather a rustic burial. But I suppose it's better than no burial at all.
We laid what harpers we could to rest in this place. Before the shadows fell.
It is good to see the fallen buried well, especially in this cursed land.
A hasty burial is still a burial. A small mercy, but one these fallen would have been grateful for.
At least the shadow curse was not allowed to claim these dead.
Glad to see someone in this place got a proper burial.
The very plates of the earth have been shattered by the magic of the shadow curse. Utterly fascinating. Unless you happen to be standing on it, of course.
A curse that desecrates the ground itself. Almost impressive.
Sylvanus, guard us. The curse has churned up the very land itself.
The curse did not stop at ground level. It pierced the very skin of the earth.
Even the ground's been ground away. How?
How can a curse wear away the very ground?
The curse caused the ground to give way. Such power.
Hells. Is the curse so powerful that it can rip apart the earth beneath it?
Where'd that child go? Or whatever it is.
Hells! I have better things to do than seek out unsettling little children.
All right, kid. Where the hell did you go?
Surely finding a little boy can't be that hard. Even if he is whatever he is.
It can't have gone too far. I'll find you, you little scoundrel.
Where is that spooky little brat? There you are. Come out, little one.
Ah, I have you. Just a shame I don't want you.
There you are. Got you.
Enough games, cursed one.
Hello? Little... whatever you are? I know you're there. Come out.
Aha! The jig is up, kid.
A Selûne idol, really? Are you in need of a paperweight?
Gaudy thing. Maybe it can be sold for something more useful.
Good craftsmanship wasted on Selûne. Maybe it can be repurposed somehow.
You might find some use for that thing if it's melted down for arrowheads, but that's all.
That was an actual pixie! An adorable, furious pixie.
Little wings, big mean mouth.
My, what an angry little pixie. He's practically turning the air blue.
Well, she was a delight.
What an angry little creature that pixie is.
Are they all so eccentric, I wonder?
She's an angry little thing. Sort of adorable, really.
She's as cute as a bug. And not much bigger.
A pixie's stature, but an ogre's temper. Incredible.
Fierce thing. Bet she could turn me inside out if she wanted.
And she has such a way with words.
Not what I expected to run into in a place like this.
Feisty little darling, isn't she?
Lots of bark. Bet she's got a good bite too.
Angry little creature, isn't she?
We do get to see some interesting things. Almost makes the mortal peril worth it. Almost.
Feisty little thing, that pixie. I respect the moxie.
For such a small thing, she's got one big mouth.
She'd put a sailor to shame with that mouth.